I hope you all are fine. So today we are going to discuss our last video of this chapter, physical and chemical changes. Last time we had discussed about different types of changes and the examples of those changes. Now we know that every particular change, mostly it involves the energy factor. In some cases energy is released while in some cases energy is absorbed. But some examples are there which do not involve either energy or there is no particular release of energy, like simple mixing of different two substances. Like suppose if you mix sand and water, so there will be a mixture, heterogeneous mixture you will get, but there is no increase or decrease in the temperature or energy of the mixture, so it will be having no change. On the other hand, there are some changes which involve energy while others which release the energy. One example I will write here. So first one, which evolve energy, means which give out the energy, like burning of wood. It is exothermic process, means a process in which energy is given out. Energy given out while boiling of water. Boiling of water, it only continues if the heat is supplied. If heat is not supplied or it is terminated or stopped, then the process also stops, and this process only continues when energy is given out. It means it is endothermic, means taking in energy. Okay, so generally on the basis of energy, two different types of processes are there. One which give out the energy, another which take in the energy. The reactions or the processes which give out energy, they are known as exothermic, while those which absorb energy or which require energy or which take in energy, they are known as endothermic. Here these two are very important. Okay, so these two are very important. Exothermic, as I earlier said, exo means the process which give out energy. Exo means out, and thermic or therm, it means heat. So whole we can say, or combined we can say, the process in which heat is given out. Endo on the other hand, it means in, and therm again it is heat. So the process in which the heat is taken in or absorbed, that process we call as endothermic. Examples earlier we had discussed carbon plus oxygen, like burning, it will give carbon dioxide plus heat. On the other hand, there are many examples like nitrogen plus oxygen. When they combine together, they form nitrogen monoxide, and the process only takes place when a temperature of nearby 3000 degrees Celsius is given. Or you can also write here the process like boiling or dissolving glucose in mouth or in water. That also is the example of endothermic. Many examples are there. Now these are the type of reactions in which energy is given out and in which the energy is taken in. But why does this change in energy takes place, or why the reactions involve the energy changes? This is very important question. So the reason behind this, that whenever any sort of physical process occur, then what happens, we know the different states of matter, they are connected or they are linked to one another with the help of intermolecular forces, and those intermolecular forces, for their breakage we need energy, Like suppose we here know that boiling can occur only when temperature is given. When heat is given, then only water will boil and get converted to steam. Why heat is involved here? Because water earlier is in the liquid form. So liquid molecules, they are free although, but not as free as in the case of steam or the vapor form. So for increasing their kinetic energy, in order to make them free, we supply the heat. When heat is supplied, the force holding the molecules, it breaks and there is formation of the gaseous state. So gaseous state molecules, they are formed. Okay, means energy is required in order to overcome the forces. So that's why the energy change occurs during different physical processes. On the other hand, why does energy change occur during chemical reaction? The reason is same, because in chemical processes they involve the breakdown of chemical bonds, and when chemical bonds break down, what happens? There is formation of new bonds, and due to that there is either a release or there is either intake of energy. So this is the basic reason why does the change in energy takes place during different physical and chemical processes. So one example we will again take from this one. So let's have those. Okay, so that we can discuss with the help of the example like dissolving or dissolution of glucose in mouth or in a glass of water. So it's very common that whenever we dissolve the glucose, so glucose we know it is solid, although it is in fine powder, but it is solid. So solid particles, they are very tightly packed, and water, their molecules, they are not very tightly packed. They are free comparative to this one. Now when this glucose, it gets combined with the liquid water, now earlier we had discussed in the previous video that the substance that gets dissolved, that gets mixed with someone, that we call as solute, and the liquid phase, or which is more in amount, that is known as solvent. When both mix, they form the solution. This we had discussed earlier. Now what happens when glucose gets dissolved in the liquid? We can, in order to distinguish it, this one I am showing it with the help of a solid, and this one, the other one I am showing with the help of now you can see here these particles which are having no shade, which are not shaded, unshaded, they are of the glucose, and the shaded ones, they are of the water. When both these combine, we get this type of arrangement, and in this type of arrangement you can see here the intermolecular space is less, here intermolecular space is more. Now as the intermolecular space it increases, the kinetic energy of the particles also increases because they are free to move here and there. But as the intermolecular space decreases, their movement is restricted. They do not have enough space to move here and there, and their kinetic energy also decreases. It means their temperature is also less. Here temperature could be more. When these two are mixed, the resultant mixture or the resultant solution has less intermolecular space than that of the liquid, and due to that the energy also decreases, collision also decreases, and the overall energy of the total resultant solution, it gets decreased. So that's why when we mix glucose in our mouth or we put glucose in water, the particular water temperature, it decreases. Why it decreases? Because the space, the intermolecular space between the liquid particles, it decreases and their kinetic energy declines, and as a result energy of that particular solution also decreases. Hence we feel the cooling effect. You can experience it at your home. Put some sort of glucose, one spoon on your or a pinch on your tongue, and after some time you will feel the cooling effect. Now why it is so? It is so because in order to get mixed with your saliva which is present in your tongue, glucose absorbs the energy, and due to absorption of energy the temperature decreases. Okay. Okay, so next one is energy change during a chemical change or chemical reaction. So for understanding this one, you can consider a general reaction. Here I had considered a general A plus A2 plus B2 will give 2AB. So we know that the atoms in a particular molecule, they are held by a chemical bond. Suppose A element is held with another A element with the help of one single bond, and this one is also held with the help of a single bond. When these two combine, there is formation of AB and AB. Now when these two will combine, naturally in order to form this one, there must be breakdown of these two chemical bonds, and for breakdown of chemical bond, what there is requirement? There is requirement of energy. So when energy is supplied, or in some cases if we mix two substances, naturally they immediately combine to form the next new substance. So if energy is taken in here and in this side energy is released, suppose, and overall if we check out the energy from both the two sides, that is from the reactant as well as from the product, so if overall energy is more, so that process will be called as exothermic, means that it is giving out the energy. And if energy involved here is more this side and that side produces less, that process we will call as endothermic. Okay, like a common example is when we burn a piece of wood, what happens? First of all, we need to supply energy. Energy is given. When energy is given, after that ignition, the wood starts burning on its own. So that means it, after it has been ignited, it is giving out the energy. It is producing new product and giving out the energy. That process is called as exothermic. While the other process which absorbs the energy, that we call as the endothermic, that recently we discussed that the combination of nitrogen and oxygen can only take place when electric spark or very large amount of heat is supplied, that is around 3000 degree Celsius, then only this one will form, otherwise this reaction will not occur. If the amount of heat that was abrupted or the supply of heat is cut, then this formation of NO is not there. So these reactions will only continue if heat is given. They will not occur, means once the heat is given, then they will continue. Okay, so many examples are there which involve intake of the heat, and many are there which involve the or which release the heat. So some common examples we will discuss. Okay, so many examples of exothermic as well as endothermic reactions are present. So first of all, we know that once we heat a piece of coal, so in the starting it needs energy, it needs some sort of ignition, then it starts producing the heat on its own. Means the process, once it has started, it continues on its own. So mostly all the exothermic reactions, they once start, they propagate on their own. Propagate means they continue on their own. Only they need some sort of ignition, like igniting an agarbatti. Agarbatti, have you seen? So once we need to light that particular agarbatti, then it continues giving out scent and keeps on burning on its own. Similarly, burning of candle, burning of lamp, etc. Many examples are there. Similarly, when iron and sulfur, they are mixed together, there is formation of iron sulfide, iron 2 sulfide. So this particular reaction is also exothermic along with heat is given. Once they both are mixed, they are given some sort of heat, then they continue their reaction on its own and this formation continues. Similarly, hydrogen, which is used as a rocket fuel. Hydrogen is a gas and it is very flammable in nature. It catches fire very easily. Once it combines with oxygen, it keeps on burning and produces lot of heat along with water vapor. So this one is also exothermic. On the other hand, endothermic reactions, they are those which we know they require energy. They do not occur on their own. They need energy. Like formation of carbon monoxide. Formation of carbon monoxide. So this one is the process which needs heat. It will not continue on its own. So you have to keep in mind that exothermic reactions, once they are started, they continue on their own without any sort of extra heat, because they continue with the heat produced within the reaction. That heat continues the next stage. While these reactions, they need the energy requirement throughout the propagation of that very reactions. So this one was regarding the general energy changes in a chemical reaction. So you have to first of all go through all those previous videos. What are the different types of changes? What are the examples in those? Then how we relate different examples with different changes. Which one are with respect to physical change? Which are with respect to chemical change? And why the energy changes occur during this particular changes. All these are very important. So thank you all for watching.